Some people think that a giant aquatic creature, known as the Loch Ness Monster or Nessie, lives in Loch Ness in Scotland. The monster is commonly believed to be a myth because a lot of the purported evidence for its existence has been debunked. Welcome everyone. In today's video, we're going to tell you, is the Loch Ness Monster still alive? In this video, we'll discuss if the Loch Ness Monster is alive or not and explain its fullest mystery. But before we proceed, if you're new to this channel, remember go ahead and to hit the bell icon to subscribe so you won't miss the informative videos we will upload in the future. According to a news story, a seasoned keeper of Loch Ness Monster sightings is concerned that Nessie hasn't been seen in well over a year and could be extinct. This is the only instance of such a protracted gap in sightings in almost 90 years. According to the BBC News, Gary Campbell, a resident of Inverness in the United Kingdom, has been compiling a list of Loch Ness Monster sightings for the past 17 years and dates the sightings back about 1,500 years. According to Campbell, it's incredibly terrible news and we don't know where she's gone. Since the turn of the century, there have been fewer sightings of Nessie, but this is the first time in nearly 90 years that she has not been seen at all. Nessie hasn't always been present. In fact, there weren't any accounts of the creature until less than a century ago. The Loch Ness Monster first gained attention in 1933 when a local newspaper article described a splashing in the water that appeared to be caused by two ducks fighting rather than a huge head or hump. A well-known photograph of a mystery head and neck that gave Nessie international recognition was subsequently shown to be a fraud. According to some, the Loch Ness Monster first surfaced in a D565, when St. Columba allegedly repelled a huge beast that was posing a threat to a man in the Ness River, which empties into the lake. However, it is merely one of many stories from the Catholic Church about virtuous saints defeating serpents and dragons to represent Satan. According to skeptics, there most likely isn't any monster in the lake at all. However, the absence of sightings is a major concern for those who hold the belief that the creature exists. Even if Nessie still existed, it is most likely no longer there given that no reports of it have been made in the past 18 months. The Loch Ness Monster is still a mystery, but scientists have some new evidence for a theory. A monster, more than 1,000 years of mystery, and perhaps at long last, an explanation. It was a scientific tale suited when Neil Gemmell led a team of scientists to search for DNA from the enigmatic Loch Ness Monster. Then again on Thursday when they suggested that a giant heel might be the source of all the rumors. He kept the potential for publicity in mind. After a busy day of dozens of media appearances, the geneticist and professor at New Zealand's University of Otago told the Washington Post, "I am brazenly utilizing the monster as a tool to draw interest, so I can talk about the science I want to talk about." An official sightings register lists over 1,000 Loch Ness Monster sightings. The legends date back to 565 AD, when an Irish saint is credited with saving a man from a river monster attack. The 1930s saw an increase in rumors as a road was built close to the Scottish Loch in an article about a Loch Ness Monster published in the Inverness Courier. One man claimed to have seen a 25-foot-long, 4-foot-tall, limbless creature cross the road in front of him and his wife. A famous 1934 photograph that appeared in the Daily Mail was later shown to be a hoax that was constructed using a model head linked to a toy submarine. But the legend endured. In fact, according to PA Media, who stated Friday, Boris Johnson, the British Prime Minister, said he yearns to believe in the Loch Ness Monster after Gemmell's statement landed. When he was younger, the Prime Minister admitted, "Part of me still wants the mythological monster to be real." He requested the FBI to examine Bigfoot hair 40 years ago, but he never received a response. Before now, some hypothesized that the loch was home to a big extinct species known as a plesiosaur and pointed to the recurrent sightings of a gigantic sea creature. Others imagined a big fish swimming elephants from a circus or even floating trees. Following the analysis of the DNA in 250 samples of Loch Ness water, Gemmell and his colleagues claimed that science can be used to rule out some of the theories. They were able to create a comprehensive image of the organisms inhabiting what Gemmell called the world's most famous body of water, right down to the smallest bacteria, thanks to the DNA. They did not discover any proof that the lake is home to an extinct reptile, nor did they discover any DNA from the sharks, catfish, or sturgeons that were suggested as possible explanations. However, there was a lot of eel genetic material. The team explained the findings on its website, writing, "The last theory that we cannot dismiss based on the environmental DNA data acquired is that what individuals are seeing is a very huge eel. If there is an eel in the loch large enough to account for accounts of a monster, the experts stated it is yet unknown. Large eels have reportedly been spotted in Loch Ness, and several scholars have already brought up this possibility. Campbell's team claims that a video taken in 2007 shows a 4-meter marine animal on the loch's surface that might have been an eel, but they admit that such a massive species would be exceptional. Their findings have not won over everyone. According to Steve Feltham, who holds the record for the longest-running Loch Ness monster hunt, in the Guinness Book of Records, the existence of eels in the loch is not a shocking discovery. The possibility of other creatures is still open, he added. There are eels in Loch Ness, a 12-year-old boy could tell you, Feltham added. In the loch, I caught eels when I was a 12-year-old boy. According to the BBC, young eels move thousands of miles from waters near the Bahamas to Scottish rivers and lochs, lakes, or sea inlets. Before returning to the ocean to lay eggs, the organisms spend a large portion of their existence in freshwater. According to scientists, researchers intend to search Loch Ness for the monster's DNA. It doesn't seem like a monster, does it? Campbell conceded when informed at a news conference that the heaviest documented European eel ever caught weighed in at 538 kilograms. According to The Guardian, he stated, "But based on the data we've accumulated, we can't reject it as a possibility." Campbell is unsure whether he will participate in any future research to support the eel theory. With a project that has captivated the public's attention, unlike any other study he has released, he claimed to have accomplished his goals. Before they had made any discoveries last year, he claimed, the scientists' activity at Loch Ness had sparked over 3,000 media pieces in a matter of weeks. Campbell recalled his initial concerns about conducting a thorough research into Loch Ness. However, after speaking with his 9-year-old kid, he told his friends about the concept, who also thought it sounded wonderful. Campbell became aware that a rigorous scientific examination of the well-known lake could pique the public's interest in methods for monitoring biodiversity. After observing the children's excitement, that's all for today's video. When you hear hoofbeats, imagine horses, not zebras, according to a proverb in medicine. Similarly, consider otters rather than monsters when you see waves on Loch Ness's surface. Don't forget to like the video and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos from our channel. Thanks for watching and see you all soon.